So I'm going to use a crane as an example. So if I take this guy over here and place it on top on my site, you're going to see the crane over there, and the crane has a lot of parameters, right? So usually when I know that I'm going to create an animation for an object that is an animation for the parameters, I prefer to take a screenshot out of this view over here, because this will tell me what are the limits of the animations, oh sorry, of the parameters, right? So this is going to be like relevant for us to not like make an animation that will apply a value that is not available within this range. Okay. And I also suggest that we change our view to length because, oh, sorry, to our units to meters, because at the moment, the visual graph only works with meters units. So I'm not going to use a template for this one. I'm going to create a new one just so you guys can see how that works. And basically, this little square over here, this object, represents the actual crane that I have over here, right? So we're going to double click on this and type in animate, and then there will be an option over here called animate bone. Bone and parameters in cmBuilder are the same thing. It's just like different ways of referring to them. You can also right click and add a node, and there's going to be a lot of options over here for you to try, but the animate bone will be inside animation and then animate bone over here. Cool. So basically, how these nodes work, they on the left hand side you have the inputs, on the right hand side you have the outputs. So I need to feed these node with information with inputs, right? So I'm going to take the bones out of my original object and bring into this file. So that way I can select all the parameters that are available for this object inside this node. If I don't connect anything, I cannot select this option. There will be no option available for me here. But if I do select it, I'll be able to see those options again. Okay. And the idea over here is that you will set up what is going to be the first value and the last value for that bone or that parameter, and what is going to be the duration for that parameter change. So let's say that I want to make my jib rotate, right? So it's gonna go from 0 degrees to 180 degrees, and it's gonna take 2 seconds to do that. After that, let's say that I want to make my hook, where is my hook position over here? Hook height, hook length, da da da, anchor, anchor, anchor. I think it's gonna be the hook length, right? So then I'm gonna make my hook go from like a specific value, let's say 10 meters, then it will go to 30 meters, and then it also is gonna take 2 seconds. Then I'm gonna clone this guy, and after this is done, the hook height is gonna go from 10 to, I don't know, 50, something like that, right? So I need also to connect the triggers. So when this action is done, it will trigger the next one. When this action is done, it will trigger the next one. And I want to make this go on a loop. So I'm going to create a sequencing over here. So I'm going to type in sequence. And once this action is finished, the other one will start. But I need to create a trigger for the whole loop. So I'm going to go ahead and add a button over here, just so I can click on that button and start the whole thing. So when I click on this, you see that my object rotates, then my hook moves, and then it goes down, right? And then there is a loop, right? So the whole thing is going that way. You see how my hook stayed over there at the bottom because I didn't create any action to bring that hook back to its original position. So it will be interesting after this action over here, if we clone this and have it. So like once this is finished, it will start that. I will delete this node over here, connect my bones, and then once this guy is finished, my hook actually is gonna go back from 50 to 10 meters, right? So now it will do that action. So the hook will go down and then go up. See, so I just added a new operation over there. So it's an interesting way for you to kind of like create these actions, and this will keep playing on the loop. Again, there are ways for us to polish this and like create more granularity in this operation, but this is the easiest process, right? So you create the nodes to define how you're going to change your parameters within time. Cool. Any questions?
I have a
I
statement. Um, so just for people that are looking at this and saying that it looks complicated, it's because it kind of is. And this is kind of step one where, all right, this is not the end state of this. This is kind of like there's quite a few users in our community here that have some visual programming background, and you can build your own scripts and tools and go crazy if you'd like to. But the end goal for us is to make this a much simpler user interface. Selecting start and end dates and just saying drive this car and it just does it, right? In terms of like making it much more like abstracting away the complexity of the visual graph.
mhm.
So keeping it's going to take us a few months more to implement this, but this is where we're going with this: is that you don't need to know any of this to be able to do these types of animations. But at the moment, this is how you can do it. And if you want to get more out of your simulations by some realistic kind of like animations, this is how you can do it.
Cool, cool, cool. Exactly. And just so you know, like if like any of you that are in the call right now cannot see that visual programming option over here, is because you have to go into your user settings and enable it on the experimental features over here. So just turn this guy on and also the other one on the bottom, because this will enable that action. And this one over here, the line resource instancing, will make your scenario work faster if you were using a lot of linear resources.